With Blueprint 3, I wanted to make what I uh, call a new classic. You know, I wanted to make an album that was fresh, of course, and deal with current events and topics that's, you know, happening right now. But I wanted to go back to that, the thought pattern of making music with these lush arrangements and, you know, these different sounds. And because for me, now if you listen to music, you know, everyone has to, rightfully so, I guess not rightfully so, but understandably so. It being so hard to sell records now, you know, everyone has to get on the radio because they're trying to get the biggest impression that they can. Before, a person like Redman could not have a record on the radio and go because of his following. You know, now that number is shrunken, it's a little more difficult. So I understand people chasing radio, but what happens when everyone chases one sound, you know, all the music starts sounding the same, and it gets a bit robotic. So, you know, I'm just doing my thing to add to the diversity, you know, of music, of our genre of music, you know. I just wanted to make a statement. I mean, that's why I made DOA, you know. I made it not as a diss record, I made it as a challenge to the music industry. Like, let's not get stuck on one thing. Let's, you know, rap music is about diversity. Like, if, you know, you got on those Nikes, I'm gonna just rock, you know, Dunks. And if you, it's all about everyone contribution. You know, before you had Tribe, Ice Cube, Public Enemy. At the same time as Digital Underground, which just so many different, and I had every album. You know, it was all different types of sounds and approaches, but it was still great music. I'm not just, you know, auto-tune is bad. You know, there are songs that have auto-tune that I love, but when everyone jumps on this bandwagon and everyone tries to make the same exact record. I mean, I heard that record from T-Pain. I liked it. I don't want to hear it 100 times from 100 different artists. Like, I want to hear different stuff, you know. Well, I have a theory on everything that's happening in the music business and as it relates to MySpace and relates to the internet. I think in music, what happened was a lot of people were making albums and involved with music because they saw it was successful. So a lot of people didn't have love. There were people who didn't have love for music that was in the space because it was, and you, I mean, of course, it's understandable, right? You start looking at MTV Cribs and seeing guys' big houses and you want to be involved in that type of thing. But I think what happened with the internet and the universe it created is a way of the music business purging itself, right? So now with the sales taking a hit because of the internet, it's forced record companies to really get back and focused on the things that's really special. Yeah, I think it's a great time for new artists, right? Because they could reach as many people as a record company in the touch of a button, which is fantastic, right? And fantastic for discovering new music, which is great. I try to find two things when I'm looking for artists. I try to find, I believe in superstars, period. I think superstars, you know, you'll be able to find a record. You'll figure all that out later, right? And two, I look for artists. Sometimes they're not stars, but they have a unique vision, or they have a unique take, or they have a specific point of view. You have to have one of those two things for me to be involved. Okay. What you never want to do is to become a system where you just fill out a form or a checklist of things to do. You know, so I think every situation should be approached uniquely. Oh, I think absolutely. I believe people perceived it as a diss. It was meant to be challenging. It was meant to spark dialogue, you know, and I knew it. I mean, if you listen to the words, this ain't politically correct. I knew this might offend my political connects. I knew that people would be offended by the record, but it's tough love as well. It's all for the better, you know, of music. If people are challenged by that to make greater music, then my job is done. My job is not to make a song that's the biggest record in the world and, you know, have the most success at this point. You know, my job is to make music that challenges the culture, pushes the culture forward, that helps the genre to, you know, my thing is to, you know, make great music, you know, not just #1 records. You know, this ain't the #1 record. I say everything in the record that I was feeling. So, you know, for those that took it as a diss, they just didn't understand, and I knew they didn't, and I didn't expect them to. I really wanted the dialogue to happen. Are we using too much auto-tune? Is this one thing? I was waiting for him to say that, right? Like, this too long, it's too much, I'm sick of this. It sound like a robot, you know, all this type of thing. So it sparked all those debates and conversations, which can only be healthy, you know?